Something I've been thinking about is I've been experiencing a lot of interesting situations with extroverts. I've, you know, I've been witness to some interesting things that a lot of people around me who are very extroverted, very outgoing, very neurotypical kind of say or do that baffle me and confuse me all the time. Because I am very much an introvert. I need my alone time. I need to be able to recharge. While I do love people and I do, I do need to interact with people. It's also draining, and after like a long, hard day of work, it does not fill me with energy and excitement to go to a party. In fact, it fills me with dread. I am not a party animal. I'm not the life of the party. I'm not, I mean, if it's like a small group, I mean, honestly, I do best with just one-on-one kind of hangouts, but if I'm in a group of people, if it's a small group, then I can be pretty energetic, and I'm a funny guy. I like to crack jokes and stuff. Um, but as soon as it becomes like more than four people, it becomes hard for me to be able to socialize with a bigger group. It's hard for me to interact with lots of people at once. It's overwhelming. It doesn't. I don't know. It takes a lot out of me because I have to think about, like, the more people that are there, the more things I have to think about. The more I have to think about how this person, is feeling. Well, see, because I know that I shouldn't care so much about what other people think, but I care about, letting people know that they're being included, and that they're, not being left out. And so a lot of times I kind of take it upon myself to try to include people, but like the more people there are, and I mean, this is just an example, this isn't like a rule, but it's just sometimes in general, it's just overwhelming. The more people there are, the more things I have to think about, and I get really stressed out about that because I mean, I know how to social. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I know how to talk to people, but I'm not super great at socializing some of the time. Not all the time, but about half the time, I struggle with social situations, particularly around people that I don't really know very well. Which at the place where I'm at right now, I don't know a lot of people super well, so that happens a lot. Mostly because I'm in a new place, and I mean, I've started to make friends, and I have about four or five people that I consider my friends. But everybody else are more acquaintances, and that's not like a bad thing. It's like I don't see that as a bad thing, or anything, but it's just I don't know. I don't know a lot of people as well, and even the people that are my friends, I don't like know terribly well. But I just feel like I jive with them, and they seem chill. So I hang out with them, at least when I see them. But honestly, a lot of the time, I mean, I have friends, but honestly, like, I hardly ever really hang out with people. A lot of the times I'm just either by myself in my room, either playing video games or working on projects, or I am hanging out with my family, like my parents or my siblings, or I'm at school. Still trying to find a job, though honestly, I'm kind of starting to hope that my YouTube videos take off soon, just because I'd so much rather be making videos for a living than be working retail. I really hate working retail. I can do fast food a little more, just because, I don't know, there's some aspects of fast food where you don't have to interact with people as much. But retail is just like, I hate retail. I think the worst thing about retail is having to upsell people. I hate trying to having to like sell people like credit cards and shit, like being like, oh, do you want a rewards membership? You want and everybody's like, oh, I can always tell, I can always see it in their faces. They're just like, no, I just want to go home. Please stop asking me questions. But then, like, freaking in retail, like, the whole sales model is based off of the freaking rewards membership, not off of the actual products for some reason. It's always the rewards membership. Like, oh, we didn't sell enough cards today. What the frick are we doing? Why aren't you selling cards? And like, I don't know. I'm just not good at selling things to people because I'm not good at. I'm not. I'm kind of a. I'm kind of like a. I'm not. I have a hard time like kind of putting my foot down and saying no sometimes and being assertive, and that also translates into trying to sell people stuff because, if somebody is like, well, no, I don't want it, I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I'll pay you for wasting your time with trying to sell you stuff. Like that's how I am. So to circle back to, you know, interacting with people, I love people and I'm always trying to be kind to people. But that doesn't always mean that I like people. I mean, I'll always be kind to people, and I'll try to be kind no matter what. I mean, unless you're being particularly shitty and you're being a dick to me, then, I mean, I'm going to probably snap back with a sarcastic comment or something. But, that's the exception. Most of the time I try to be nice to people, but that doesn't always mean that I enjoy being around people. I mean, I love people, but I hate people. People are just a lot. Let me rephrase that. I love individuals, but I hate people. I mean, and I don't hate people. I don't really hate anybody, to be completely honest. There's not really a single person that I know personally that I would say that I hate. But, just being around people is exhausting, and, being neurodivergent, there's a lot of things that, like, a lot of social rules that you're just supposed to know that a lot of people don't really, I mean, like, everybody knows, but, like, I don't, and nobody, like, tells you what it's supposed to be. So, and I mean, that's not really a thing that I struggle with anymore because I've learned how to be social, kind of. I know how to interact with people now. I understand the rules. But that doesn't mean that it came naturally to me. Like, I had to learn all of this stuff that I do now. Like, I had to learn how to talk to people. I had to learn how to interact with people. I had to learn, like, what was appropriate and what wasn't not appropriate. Like, I didn't understand a lot of things, like, that aren't appropriate in social situations, because I do them thinking, like, oh, like, I'm just being friendly or something. But little did I know I was making people really uncomfortable. And that's why I kind of feel like, through most of high school, I don't know if this is how it really was, but, I felt like when I was in high school, I felt like I was kind of the creepy guy that nobody wanted to talk to because, so to be perfectly honest, I've struggled with touch starvation for a long time, and I've talked about that on my YouTube channel before, but it's one of my older videos, old-ish, that I archived, so you can't really see it. But, basically, in high school, I didn't know how to deal with touch starvation, and I'll talk about touch starvation more in another video. but I just didn't know how to deal with it, and I would struggle, because I needed to be touched, and I still need to be touched. And I know that sounds weird to people who hate being touched, but believe me, it's a thing. It's real. I mean, honestly, everybody needs it to some extent. Um, but, I have kind of a chronic touch starvation thing that just never goes away. And I don't know if that's like a scientific thing or anything, or if it's a medical thing or anything, but that's just how I feel. So, um, I just, I feel a kind of a constant struggle with not being touched, you know, and that this is something that I struggle with. But, like I said, in high school, I didn't know how to deal with that. So, I'd just be like, oh, hey, like, giving people hugs and stuff, and, touching people, and, I didn't understand at the time when I was 15 that people don't want to be touched, and everybody has a 30-mile radius of personal space that they don't want to be, they don't want to be intruded upon. But I didn't know that, so I just, I just was, doing my thing, and I feel like I became the creepy guy that nobody wanted to be around because I always was touching people, which, I mean, it wasn't I wasn't, touching people in inappropriate places, obviously, but, stuff like touching people on the shoulder or, giving hugs and stuff, things that, on the internet, they'll be like, oh, it's okay to touch people on the shoulder and stuff, but in reality, people still just don't want to be touched because they just don't want to be touched at all. Um, but, I mean, again, it wasn't like I was being a pervert and touching people in inappropriate places or anything. I definitely was not doing that. And so, but, just touching people at all, makes people uncomfortable. And that's kind of something that I am insecure about now as an adult, is I'm a very, physical touch is my love language. It's how I show affection. It's how I feel loved. But since I'm a dude, it's not really super acceptable to do that. This whole thing is kind of turning into more of a neurodivergent versus neurotypical thing. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. We're just gonna roll with it. So anyway, yesterday I was, eating dinner or something when my phone just starts blowing up with notifications. And it was because I was on this group chat. And this group chat is, mind you, this group chat has 67 people on it, because it's a group of people that's always getting new people. I don't really want to go into details because it's, I don't want to, give personal, to protect the innocent, basically. I don't want to give the whole situation, but basically, there's just a lot of people, and there's a lot of people coming in, and a lot of people going out. And so this group chat, this group chat keeps all the people who are going out in the group chat. So, there's 67 people, and I know 10 of the people on it. I know 10 of them. And then there's all these people that are people that are new that I don't know. And so people there's somebody who posted in the group chat, "Hey, does anybody want to go running with me in the snow on Saturday?" Which I'm already okay, no. I'm not going to do that. A, because I don't know any of you people, but B, because you. But but then like the whole group chat just keeps blowing up because everybody, like the same like 6 people, are just talking and talking and talking, and um and then they're like, oh, what time? They're like, let's do 4 a.m. And I'm like, geez, like 4 a.m. And then they're all like, how far are we gonna run? And they're like, let's do a casual 27 miles. I'm like, 27 miles? Like, yeah, we're just gonna run a leisurely, sumptuously 27 miles. Like, geez, I like, and I mean, there were some people who were responding being like, that sounds like torture, which is kind of the camp that I was in, even though I wasn't ever gonna go. Um, but there were some people who were like, heck yeah, I'm totally down for that. And I'm like, I don't understand you people. And see, I just laugh to myself because I live in a community of people like that. You know, I live in a state where there are just so many people who do outdoorsy things and have lots of energy and are super extroverted and, you know, go out hiking all the time and stuff. And so, you know, it's just like, it just, you know, I'm used to it because it's kind of all around me all the time. But it's just like, I still will never understand it. It's like, man, you freaking extroverted neurotypical people and your endless energy, like you could power the sun with the amount of energy that you people have, and I do not understand it. And it's just like, I don't know, because I mean, like, I'm not that old, you know, obviously. I'm really young. I'm only 20. And I get tired from, like, walking around campus and stuff. Like, you know, I don't, like, I just get tired from hanging out and talking to people. Like, I get tired from interacting with people, much less hanging out with people and partying every single night, like, all the time. I just don't get it. I don't get how people have this endless, boundless energy to do stuff like partying every night and then waking up at 4 a.m. and running down a mountain for 27 miles. Like more than a marathon. Like more than a marathon's worth of running. I don't get it. Because I don't know, like, and because so then yesterday, I go to this party, in my apartment complex. They're having like a disco dance party, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a brave little boy, and I'm gonna go, even though I hate parties. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna talk to people, and I'm gonna meet people. I'm gonna, you know, try to have a good time. So I went, and which, by the way, I have a group chat of, you know, people, like lots of people in my apartment building, because there's like a big kind of group of people, and we have activities and stuff. And everybody on the group chat was like, oh, I'm gonna be there, are you? And like, oh, you can catch me at the disco party. And then I get there, and I'm the only one there. I'm the only person that I know who's in my apartment, like, group, who's there. And I'm like, y'all are supposed to be, like, the party people. Y'all are supposed to be the extroverted ones who go out and hang out all the time with your group of hundreds of friends. I'm the introvert who has no friends, and I'm the only one here. Like, why is that? I mean, there were, like, 2 or 3 people that I know, or that I knew, there were, like, 2 or 3 people that I know who were there. And, you know, and I hung out with them a little bit, but most of them left after, like, not that long. So I'm just like kind of by myself. And I mean, I did make a few friends because there were actually two people there who, like they were like they complimented my outfit because I, was I like to wear bell bottoms, just like in general, not even like to parties and stuff. I just like to wear bell bottoms. So I was wearing my bell bottoms, and someone complimented me, because there's not a lot of guys who wear bell bottoms, obviously. And so I just started chatting with these people, and then I hung out with them a little bit, and then I was gonna leave, but then one of them was kind of like, like taking a break from the party, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Oh, just leaving, because I don't know a lot of people." And they're like, "Oh, do you want to hang out with us?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I hung out with these people, and I did, I did make some friends. I don't know if I'll ever see them again, but I did make some friends. But basically the whole time, like, we were kind of out on the dance floor, and see, I have a hard time dancing in front of strangers and people I don't know very well. If you're like my best friend, or if you're like a close friend, even, or if you're like my girlfriend or something, I'll dance whenever I want because I just don't care. But when I'm in like a public setting, and I'm around a lot of people that I don't know, I just can't do it for some reason. It's just not happening. I just cannot get myself to dance. But all these people are like partying really hard, and they're like screaming and stuff, and they're all like super like energetic, and then they're all being like, "Come on," because I'm like just kind of standing there chilling, bopping my head. They're like, "Come on, why aren't you dancing? Come on, like, come and dance, man. Come on and raise your energy, knucklehead." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm not a party animal. I'm not your guy for that. I'm sorry. I just can't, like, if I'm chillax, I'm chillax, like, I'm not gonna hide it. I just, for some reason, I have a hard time raising my energy for some reason. It's hard for me when I'm just kind of relaxed and calm and chill. It's hard for me to like go anything higher than that unless I'm like genuinely excited about something. Because if I'm not genuinely excited then about something, then I'm not going to really be able to pretend that I'm excited. It just feels weird. I don't know really how to pretend that I'm enthusiastic about something that I'm not very enthusiastic about. I just don't I just can't. And the funny thing is because then I feel like I'm bringing down the energy and being a downer, because all these neurotypical people who have endless amounts of energy are always like, "Come on, man, why aren't you having a good time with us? Why aren't you dancing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just not. I'm just not." And but it feels like I'm being a downer, for not being super up for it. Um, I don't know. Sometimes I notice this sort of like way that neurotypical people in particular talk a lot of the time. There's kind of like a weird, like, hard to determine whether it's genuine or not kind of high energy that I see in a lot of neurotypical people, where like I'll be talking to them, and they'll be like they'll be like "Oh, we're going to do blah blah blah. Oh, just like that. Like, woo woo. Oh, we're so excited because we're all going to blah blah blah." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know how to interact with that energy. Like it's like there's something about it that's just so like I just can't tell if you're just being excited for the sake of being excited, Um, like, I don't know. There's something so ingenuine about it, but I see it so often in people that I interact with. And I don't know if it's just a neurotypical thing, uh, or if for me it's just a neurodivergent thing because I have ADHD. But I just don't get it. I just don't get people who talk like that. And it happens all the time because everybody's like that. In a neurotypical world. Everybody's all like, we're gonna go to Burger King! Woo! And I'm like, okay. And they're like, have fun. Like, yeah, we're going to Burger King. And just sometimes sometimes, I mean, like, they're living their best life, but sometimes in my head, I'm just like, man, just shut up. Not in like a mean way, just in like you're being too much right now. You're really being overwhelming. Which, I'm a hypocrite because when I get really excited about something, I get really high energy. And when I really love something, I just really love something, and I just get really talkative about it, and I never shut up about it. It's like a ADHD thing, or possibly an autistic thing that I might have because I possibly autistic. It's like I get hyper focused on something, and I have like these special interests, and I'm sorry, I feel bad because like I feel like I'm bothering people when I do it, but I just cannot shut up about the things that I'm hyper focused on because like there's some part of me that just has to get it out of my head and into the world. And I think that's part of why I'm doing this YouTube channel, is because I don't want to just talk someone's ear off, so I'm just talking into the microphone and then posting it on the internet, and hopefully somebody will find it entertaining. But when I get really hyper focused on something, I'm very talkative. I like to think that I'm like a quiet, quaint kind of very like subdued person, but I'm not. As much as I want to be, I'm not. When I get excited about something, I'll just talk and talk and talk about it. And I'm learning to just own it instead of being embarrassed about it, because I mean, I am still embarrassed about it because sometimes it bothers people, and I've gotten in trouble at past jobs for talking too much and stuff. But that's besides the point. So yeah, going back to the topic at hand, neurotypical extroverted people and me. Yeah, so I went to this party, and it kind of didn't. I mean, it was fine. Like everybody else was having a great time, but I just kind of was like, whatever. I'm not really into parties, so I pretty much just went home. And something that I've been thinking about a little bit is like, sometimes like, I mean, like when it comes to dating and stuff, like, I mean, I won't go too much into it because, dating is like a touchy subject where I feel like if I get too public with my dating life on the internet, I'm worried that like people will find it and get mad at me. So I just, I'll try not to talk about too many personal details, but so I've been having a hard time finding people in my daily life, like, that I see a lot, that like I've been having a hard time finding very many girls that I'm like really that into. And it's mostly, I feel like part of it is because so many people are just like that. Like the way that I've been describing, like, these neurotypical extroverted people. There's so many people who are super like sporty and go hiking and love fishing and watch football and stuff, and those are all things that I'm not into at all. I don't know the first thing about sports other than there's a goal and there's a ball. And sometimes people kick the ball, and sometimes they throw it, and sometimes they can't throw it for some reason, like they're not allowed to. But that's all I know about or sports, I guess. And I don't know. It sounds like kind of a douchey thing to say, but it's just how I feel. Sometimes, when I meet a girl, that I potentially like could be into. Sometimes sometimes I'll, because I just want to get to know people mostly. That's kind of the first thing, is that I just want to get to know people. I don't really ask people out until I really know them, or at least I've been trying to, at least. Um, but sometimes if I'm in the talking stage with somebody, and they're like super into sports and stuff, not gonna lie, I mean, it's not like a bad thing, and I'm not going to like bash them for it, and it's like, you do you, man. But you're on thin ice already, It's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like again, it's not bad, and I'm not like it's not like a red flag or anything. It's not like an ick or anything. I'm not gonna take any points from somebody, but I just I don't know. I just wish I knew just more people in general, like not even just girls, but more people in general who are into the things that I'm into, because I'm kind of an otaku. That's why I named the channel Cries in Otaku. Because I love anime, and I play video games a lot, like all the time, and I'm into super nerdy stuff, and I'm very creative, and I do a lot of art and music and stuff, and I like to draw characters, and I draw a lot of anime characters as well. But I feel like I don't really know very many people in my real life who also like most of those things. I mean, I know some people who play video games, and a few people who watch a little bit of anime, but I don't feel like I know very many people who are into everything else. I don't know. I just wish I had more friends with similar interests, and it wasn't like every single person I meet wasn't a copy paste person who's, everybody goes hiking at 4 a.m. and everybody likes football, and everybody, does this or that everybody else does. I don't know. I'm just tired of meeting the same person over and over and over again. You ever feel like that? I'm not. I feel like a jerk for like saying all this, but it's just the way that I feel. I get tired of meeting everybody. I get tired of meeting people who has all the same interests as everybody else. It's kind of just like, it's just kind of monotonous at some point. It's like, I don't know. So many people are into all the same things. I don't know. I just like people who are unique, I guess. I guess that's all I'm asking for, is to meet more unique people. But yeah, I don't really know where this video was supposed to go or how it's going, but I've talked about a lot of different things, just off the top of my head, and a lot of them are just things that have been pent up energy in my brain that I just needed to get out. So that's what I did. So if anybody found this video relatable, I hope you leave a comment or a like or something and tell me what you thought, because I don't know, this was just kind of me just ranting at my phone for 35 minutes. But tell me what you think. I'm gonna try to get more videos out, because I kind of want to get more traction, because I'm hoping that this YouTube thing can hopefully go somewhere. It would be cool if I could do something with it and do stuff that I like doing, and hopefully be able to like kind of be able to find some success with it. So, but with that, I will see you all next time.